a lot of times what we'd always look at, formally we kind of use this like as our p and our q, but I'm not going to get through the formal definition of a polynomial and so forth. All I want you guys to understand is when we're identifying the rational zeros, what this is the list of all possible rational zeros. And this will be really important because what we're going to start doing is we're going to start talking about irrational zeros, which we already kind of talked about, but we're going to start exploring when we have irrational zeros, as well as having complex zeros or imaginary zeros. So, and here my example. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do we already know what the zeros are in this problem? We already know the zeros, right? But what I just want to do is just give you guys a basic example here. So again, it's going to be plus or minus the factors of your constant. So the factors of my constant are 2. Don't really care if it's positive or negative. And then over the factors of my leading coefficient, which in this case is 1. Okay? So by the rational zero test, what that's going to do is the list of possible rational zeros. So that's going to be plus or minus 2 over 1, plus or minus 1 over 1. So therefore, we could say it's basically going to be plus or minus 2, comma, plus or minus 1. So that means if I have a 0, it's a rational 0. If it's going to be a rational 0, it's going to be one of these 4 numbers, positive 2, negative 2, positive 1, negative 1. And you look over there. Are those 2 zeros part of our rational 0 test? Yes, right? You remember when we checked, remember when we did the long division, I said, like we did long division of x minus 3? Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember checking the long division of x minus 3? That had a remainder of 2 if you forget. But what would the 0 be? The 0 would be 3. Well, ladies and gentlemen, could we have not wasted our time doing long division to check to see if it was a 0? Because using the rational 0 test, is it possible for 3 to be a 0? No, because it's not listed as a possible rational 0. So we could have not wasted our time and even tried doing long division. Because we know by the rational 0 test, 3 couldn't have even been a 0. OK? So we'll talk more about these. Actually, for all of these problems, we're going to be practicing finding the rational 0 test or finding